In this video, I'm going to cover step-by-step a process of metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming that has allowed me and hundreds of my clients across the world get to leaner body fat percentages predictably using a mechanism of actual science and using your metabolism to our advantage. Using this process, you won't have to worry about another fad diet on the internet again. You won't have to worry about hitting another plateau or stuck spinning your wheels ever again. And you won't have to worry about hiring another trainer that gives you a relative approach to fat loss. So my name's Adam Bono. I'm an online fat loss professional, and I specialize and hormonal priming, body recomposition, and higher level forms of nutrition through metabolism manipulation. And I have quite literally worked with hundreds of men across the world, getting them to the leanest body fat percentage they've ever been, predictably using our mechanism of science. We have guys in their 40s and 50s looking better than they did in their 20s, and we have guys over 100 pounds down. So in this video, first of all, I want to cover where you're at and why you're currently stuck to shine some light on the situation. And then I want to cover a little bit about how your body works, how your metabolism works, and the overall nutritional effect to body composition. And then I'm going to get into a very good depth about how I utilize metabolic priming within each one of my clients' plan. And at the very end, I'm going to give you some tactical information to take with you to hopefully help you on your own fitness journey. So real quick, I want to give you a 30-second highlight reel of who I am, how we've gotten on this YouTube video, and why you should listen to me. So I went through the exact process of metabolic priming myself, where I dropped 50 pounds in just 5 months. On March 14th, went from 222 to July 10th to at 173. And I've quite literally been every body fat composition known to man, and I struggled with a lot of confidence issues, and I was spinning my wheels particularly for a very long time, trying everything known to man, just hitting this wall that I couldn't get over and just gaining the weight back, and it was just a never-ending frustrated repeated cycle. So my background is I actually was a Division I college baseball player where I studied exercise science and nutrition. First job out of college, I worked as a nutrition consultant where I gave over 1,500 nutrition consultations over the course of 2 years. So during that time, I started learning about supplementation, obviously, but nutrition at a very high level. And that's when I started to invest all of my money into online course on endocrinology, which is the study of human hormones. And what I was specifically trying to find was a direct correlation between key nutritional factors in men and actual hormones. So I took that information and really put it to the test and competed in multiple bodybuilding shows and ended up winning one of them. And after that, that's when I actually started my own business, running my own program with the tactical information that I have learned and the thousands of dollars I have invested in how your body actually works. And during my come up within the fitness industry, I've had a lot of great mentors like Sal Frisella, owner of First Form, Keen Hoskins, who taught me a ton of different things about mental health as well. And then I've got to meet just a lot of cool people. But more importantly, we have helped hundreds of guys from all walks of life get to leaner body fat percentages predictably, get to that next level of fitness, and actually sustain it for good using this actual mechanism. And like I said, we've worked with hundreds of guys. And some of the guys that go through our program say, "Thank you, coach. Really excited to have reached 3,000 calories while getting leaner, crossing that 8% body fat. It consistently blows my mind how my clothes are falling off. I'm eating way more food. Are you joking? 20 pounds in 20 days. Almost 95 pounds down. Crazy. Literally eating more food and still losing body fat. Down 90 pounds, finally hitting our goal. And even coach, I don't know what sort of wizardry you're performing, but I'm down 3.4 in the morning and I'm continuing to lose weight despite eating more and doing less." So now that you know, you should probably listen to me and what I'm about to tell you, I want to get in the heart of this video. But before I do, I want to quickly state that this video and my program is not for everybody. We work with managers, business owners, CEOs, executives, pilots, ER doctors, and business professionals around the world who are ready to invest in themselves in a lifelong fat loss solution, a staple fat loss solution, because we provide the type of 24/7 accountability, guidance, support, and also a step-by-step plan of what you're doing and why. The type of clarity and guidance that you do not get from the online apps that you're using, you do not get from that personal trainer that you see an hour a day that sends you a PDF profile. We provide the type of education on what you're doing and why, how your body specifically works according to you, and also the education on how to navigate certain life scenarios like vacation planning, planning for a work trip, eating out with staying in macros, and hungry after meals and late at night. We provide the type of education at a very high level. So if you're somebody who's looking for a quick band-aid solution to a fat loss problem or a cheap budget problem to fix a fat loss issue, click out of this video because it's not for you. But if you're someone who wants to learn a high-level tactical way to lose body fat and keep it off for the rest of your life, stick around, watch this video all the way through because I'm going to lay the entire thing out for you step by step. So where you're at right now is you are probably you've been trying certain diets that have just not given you any sustainable results. So you've probably tried fad diets on the internet like keto, carnivore, low carb, super caloric deficits, and you always get to this certain level of body fat composition and you just kind of plateau out and you just kind of gain the weight back. And it's leading to this never ending cycle. So you're probably low in calories, maybe under 2,000 calories. You've been trying these personal trainers that don't really teach you anything, and they just kind of leave you dependent on them. So where you're at right now, and probably with a sign of some low metabolism signs, is weight plateau, broken down, fatigue, brain fog, low energy, terrible sleep, insulin resistance, which means that anytime you eat a little bit more food or go out to eat with the wife, you just gain it right back, increase appetite, and bloating. So I want to cover really quickly how your metabolism actually works truly. So your metabolism is covered in 3 different quadrants, but you actually burn calories 4 separate ways. So the main portion of your metabolism will be the basal metabolic rate, which is essential body functions: breathing, blood flow, sleeping, organ function, keeping you upright and keeping you alive. And then you have the thermic effect of food, which is how your body actually breaks down food, the actual calories it takes to break down food. And then you have active energy expenditure, which is only 25% of your actual calories burned, which is a very insignificant amount within what you probably think. So you have 2 ways that actually you use active energy expenditure: planned exercise and non-planned exercise. So you can break this quadrant almost into 2 different parts, with the exercises that you do, maybe the cardio you're currently doing, and then you can break it also down into non-energy activity thermogenesis, which is like kind of fidgeting, the non-planned exercise things that you do the day, like walking, fidgeting, typing on a keyboard. And that actually burns a significant amount of calories, more than you quite literally would think. So you have these 4 quadrants of how your body burns calories and utilizes calories at a burning rate. So next, let's kind of cover exactly what metabolic adaptation is, because to understand metabolic priming, you have to understand what metabolic adaptation is. So metabolic adaptation is also called adaptive thermogenesis or diet fatigue. It's when you don't give your body enough what it needs to support essential body functions, and your body starts to downregulate your metabolism, which means that over time, when you start to eat less food, your body starts to fight back. It's an essential mechanism of survival that your body has scientifically accrued over time to protect you in times of food scarcity. Think about like prehistoric times where you go without food for days at a time. Your body starts to lower your metabolism and how it burns food so it can better savor that essential body function, the 60% of your entire metabolism. But the problem in today's society is we have purposeful caloric restriction, which means people are purposely trying to eat less calories. And the thing you want to know about caloric restriction in general is that it is a form of starvation, right? It is a form of starvation. And when you understand starvation, you understand that the body wants to start fighting back when you're on low amounts of calories for an extended period of time. So, the things that start to decrease when we start to lower our metabolism is your BMR, energy burned at rest, thermic effect of food, how much calories it takes to break down food, energy burned at exercise, and the major hormones that start to actually influx these adaptations are leptin, which is the satiety hormone, ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, thyroid hormone, and actually testosterone, which all are unfavorable by weight loss. So when you start to downregulate this, start to eat less food, your metabolism starts to fly with you. So how do we fix this? How do we fix the low metabolism? How do we get most of our clients that are eating hundreds and hundreds of grams more carbohydrates, but down a significant amount of weight? We use metabolic priming, which is an actual process of metabolism manipulation. We turn the body into food storing mode and to food burning mode. So the reduction of oxidative stress, inflammation by repairing hormones through high level nutrition strategies. So when you start to downregulate your metabolism, you start to undereat, your body starts to go into starvation mode, and you keep doing cardio at a very high rate, you start to put inflammation on your body in the form of cortisol, inflammation, adrenal fatigue, oxidative stress, and all these hormones are hormones that prohibit you from losing body fat, which keeps you spinning your wheels, not ever to get over that hump to that next level of fitness. And with this being said, is that like a lot of these things is purposeful. And the thing is, not a lot of people know about what's happening with their body and why they're stuck. But when we do know this, we do know it, we can actually use metabolic priming to increase your metabolism through correct nutritional factors, manipulating the metabolism through pH, O2 levels, nutrient availability, stimulate the metabolism. So I want you to remember this. We focus on raising BMR, which is essential body functions, right? So moving on, let's kind of cover first of all protein, carbs, and fats. So I would say a majority of people within protein, carbs, and fats is exactly where they go wrong, right? Because you can be tracking your calories, and maybe you are right now. Maybe you're tracking your calories, you're tracking your macronutrients, or you have in the past. To be honest, that's the easy part. Tracking the calories and macronutrients is the easy part. Knowing how much to track protein, carbs, and fats is where a lot of people go wrong. So I went to school for this. I've quite literally helped thousands of people do this by the time of me doing nutrition consultations. And now this is what I currently do for a living, which is taking a scientific approach to fat loss. So I have formulas that I've created on the back of my program where I plug my clients' information in, height, weight, job description, activity level, and we know down to the protein, carbs, and fats what you need to be eating every single day to get there. So if you're tracking your food without a goal right now, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't even matter. You don't have the correct goal. So you could go out after this video, after you're done watching this, and start tracking your food, but if you don't have a correct goal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. So I want to break down very, very quickly about protein, carbs, and fats and the particular importance of each one. So protein, for instance, has a 30% thermic effect, which means that 30% of the protein that you eat gets actually broken down in the thermodigestion conversion process. So you eat 100 calories of protein, you break 30 calories down. So the best thing about protein is, yes, you all know that it builds muscle. That's not a secret. But as you start to build muscle, you actually start to raise your metabolism, right? So it takes 2 calories to sustain 1 pound of body fat, but 8 calories to sustain 1 pound of muscle tissue. So as you start to gain more muscle tissue, your metabolism starts to rise. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in today's society, and it's the difference between weight loss and fat loss. Many of you guys listening to this probably right now who have tried caloric restriction have lost a significant amount of muscle tissue, and you kind of get stuck in that area. And so if you lose muscle tissue, you lower your metabolism. And a lot of people who lose 30 pounds very quickly, they lose 15 pounds of fat, 15 pounds of muscle, and you just look kind of caught in that skinny fat phase, just not any better, just stuck. So the difference is weight loss versus fat loss. We are structured for fat loss. And where does fat loss come from? Protein, carbs, and fats. Calories affect your weight, macronutrients affect how you look, and then micronutrients affect how you feel. So with our clients, we always try to structure a certain protein goal first. So client comes to us and we first of all, do a caloric intake maintenance assessment to assess exactly where their calories are at from a weight perspective. Remember, calories affect weight. And once we get the correct calorie amount, we implement our formulas with correct protein, carbs, and fats. So we start with that protein goal, the higher protein goal that has a higher thermic effect with 4 calories per gram. The next we implement is a fat goal. So talk really quickly about fat in general. Fat intake affects your hormones. It affects T3, T4, thyroid, metabolism, and it also affects a lot of digestive issues. So keep in mind, fat has a 30% thermic effect, which is very slow digestion. When you understand what fat intake is, since it's very slow digesting, one, it can cause a lot of digestive issues. And when you're talking about digestion in general, it correlates to metabolism specifically, right? How your body breaks down food, metabolism, how your body breaks down food, digestion. So we optimize, first of all, the most important thing, we optimize our clients' digestion with the correct fat intake and optimize hormones with the correct fat intake. So the next is carbohydrates. And so carbohydrates do get a bad rap in today's society. Yeah, I completely understand, because if you do eat too many carbohydrates, you will gain weight. But we correctly fluctuate and put the carbohydrates to meet exactly what they're eating calorie-wise, right? So protein goal, fat goal, backfill the rest with carbs. With the particularly the important thing about carbohydrates in general, and I want you to remember this, is that carbohydrates support bodily functions. BMR is the body's main fuel source, gets broken down to glucose and extra stored in the liver. So carbs have a 10% thermic effect, but they also increase the satiety hormone leptin, so they make you feel more satiated. So the importance of carbohydrates in today's diet is, one, carbohydrates are your body's main fuel source, right? It wants to use carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, one, reduce inflammation, reduce adrenal fatigue, reduce oxidative stress, cortisol levels, which all those, remember, being like the main factors why a lot of people can't lose weight. But more importantly, for my guys in my program, it optimizes cognition, how you think, because glucose currently runs your brain. Your brain runs off glucose. So there's a synergistic effect that happens when you connect all three and you get the correct macronutrients to specifically you, the correct customization in protein, carbs, and fats to you. And that's extremely, extremely important. So next, when we do start them off, so say they were eating a little bit over 1,800 calories, we give them correct protein, carbs, and fats at 1,800 calories. So this is probably where most of you guys are currently probably at. Your BMR is shot, you're doing maybe a little bit of cardio, but your calories are way, way down here, right? So what most trainers would do, and most people would do if they don't know how to have the actual hormonal approach to this, is they would say, okay, let's go to 1,800 calories. 1,700 calories, 1,600 calories. You know, you're currently eating an unhealthy amount. Like, no, you're not even eating as much as a female right now. So what we do particularly is, one, now that we have the correct protein, we have the correct fat, we start slowly working up the carbohydrates, right? So the first week of our clients' plans, what we do is say client comes up with 40 minutes, is, one, we cut the cardio to 0 to reduce inflammation, to reduce cortisol levels, but to also reduce lactate, because walking reduces lactate. And then we start to slowly raise the carbohydrates. So why we do this in particularly too is that we want to be able to utilize cardio at a later date that has a new stimulus. And listen along, because I'm going to explain why. But over time, as clients check in with us, they check in every single week. And what we do is we monitor their KPI data metrics with their muscle tissue, their energy levels, how they look, how they feel, and a bunch of statistical factors as well. And we make decisions based upon that. To get the correct educational decisions, you need to make decisions based upon data, right? So each week our clients check in with us and one, we give them a little bit more food, and over time, this BMR starts to rise because we are slowly adding carbohydrates. And I know right now you guys are thinking like, there's no way people are actually eating more food and losing weight. Check this out. 1,300 calories, 375 grams of carbs, 200 calories more, 1,200, 14, 900, 300, 700, 900, 800. And that's only half of the program itself. And so as these clients are eating more food, we are preparing their bodies and preparing their hormones. So let's say a certain client gets to, I don't know, and it just depends on person to person. And we can usually tell by their physical attribution, like when they are at the peak performance and when their BMR is the highest. And it's a certain look that, you get kind of used to over time. So next thing we do is, now that we have the calories up here, we've been doing zero cardio, our metabolism is up here. Next, what we do is we go into an actual fat loss phase, which most people would do already, but we prime the metabolism. We prime the body. We create the structure of muscle tissue that has a higher metabolism, and we start to work on fat loss, not weight loss, fat loss. So let's say like client is at 3,400 calories. He's been doing zero cardio. His BMR is up here. And then we slowly each week do the same thing. We monitor data, KPIs, metrics, how your body's working, start to lower them, add a little bit of cardio. And then we do this every single week, right? And over time, they start to, one, lose fat, but we maintain the muscle tissue to make sure that we're giving periodical refeeds, to make sure they're keeping good muscle volume. But we make sure specifically to do it based upon data. And so then our clients, will get down to 2,500 calories, but they'll be lean, right? So we have a client in our program right now. His name is Jake, and he got shredded eating 2,700 calories, right? Because we got his actual calories up to almost 4,700. And so then we were able to lower it from 4,700 to 2,700. And that's how he got so lean. But imagine like your life right now, how much more sustainable it would be to just eat under 2,700 calories. Pretty simple, right? And the thing is about this process is it is repeatable, right? Because then as you start to, one, go back down in the fat loss phase, start to raise the cardio, obviously, yes, your metabolism is going to slower, but we know that. It's an expectation about how the body works, because we provide a lot of the expectations about how your body works for our clients, and so they know how to navigate. And then you just go right back into a metabolic priming phase, and it is a never-ending cycle. And I've currently done it almost 7 times, and I look better and better, leaner and leaner. I'm able to sustain it longer and longer. So going back to what we said kind of about weight loss or fat loss, is I want to kind of explain this, because I know a lot of guys listening to this right now have lost a lot of weight, but lost a lot of muscle tissue and kind of gotten that skinny fat phase, and maybe just gained it right back, right? And I think there is a problem with weight loss versus fat loss in today's society, because statistically speaking, only 30% of people who lose 10 plus pounds actually keep it off. And this is like nutritional science data that they have. And then even after 3 years, that number starts to dwindle. So you start to think like, why? Like, why are people having a weight relapse problem? And so what it really comes down to is muscle tissue. Like, maintaining a certain level of muscle tissue, because think about it like this, right? This is my dummy to me. 15% body fat at 150 versus 180. If you have more muscle tissue, 1, your metabolism's higher, you can eat more food. 2, you look leaner. The body fat disperses differently. You're able to look leaner at a higher body fat percentage. Why do you think bodybuilders in their off season have like perfect abs, right? It's because they have the muscle tissue and the muscle volume that still makes them look lean. And this is exactly some of the clients that have gone through our program that directly correlate to that statistical data. Like Mason here, who just had a perfect switch in weight, but looks completely different. Christian, who's up 9 pounds. Steven, 7 pounds. Joe, 6 pounds. 200 versus 210. So as you get bigger, you start to look leaner. And I think that's the big missing key factor in a lot of people in mindset when it comes to weight loss, right? You don't have a weight loss problem. You have a fat loss problem. The thing is about it too is that, you actually know exactly how much to eat, but also the sustainability behind it. Because selfishly speaking, I don't want to coach all my clients to I'm 80, and they don't want to be coached by someone to their 80, right? So eventually they do have to learn this process for sustainability, and that's the education we provide. How to sustain it, how to go on vacation, how to go on client luncheons, how to go on work trips or whatever it may be. I mean, we have a pilot who flies daily who's absolutely shredded. I'm actually going to show you him real quick, because I want to show you what is possible even when you are traveling for work. And it's just because of the structural approach. And this this is John. He's a professional pilot who does only private piloting, right? And that's why his face is covered out, because he wants to remain anonymous. But he's actually up in weight right here, but he's like lean, right? And it's just because we give him the actual customization and approach for him to directly do that. Now that you kind of know a little bit about metabolic priming and why it is beneficial and why it's the most predictable form to lose body fat and keep losing body fat but maintain it long term, I want to kind of cover exactly the timeline for you, right? So right now, pros to what you're eating right now, doing right now, you are eating healthy maybe, or have in the past, or you know how to. You're highly motivated, you got work ethic, discipline, can follow a plan, you're financially stable, but like you're in what's called the learning phase, right? And what you keep on doing, you're trying to learn different things, you're trying different things, and I was in the same spot. I did that for 3 years, like learning different things, investing in different things, investing in different mentors. But there was this one mentor and this one program that I got into about hormonology that really just changed the entire game for me. And this is kind of what happened from March 22nd. Right now, I was guessing, following some app online, stuck in a plateau. I was lost, self-conscious. I had a terrible relationship with food. And then I invested in this program, and I invested into an actual mentor to actually show me step-by-step the education, and I lost 50 pounds in just 5 months. And the truth is you could have 80% of it figured out your entire life. You could have 80% of the entire picture figured out your entire life. But that 20% of actual customization and actual guidance on what you need and to cut a lot of corners, like you can find $5 on the ground. You can never find 5 minutes. And a lot of you guys listeners right now are above 30 and times, I'm sorry, just not on your side. But there is an approach to this that will help you, right? And where you're at right now too is that I completely get it, because one, you want balance. You want to be able to go out with the wife, you want to go on work trips, you want to go on vacations, but you want a sustainable approach. You want balance between the two, but you don't have the correct guidance. And so this was like my dream body, and I currently still have this. This was actually last summer on all the business trips that I went to in Marbella, Spain. Here's just me at the pool. This is in Marbella. And, you know, I'm able to stay lean because I know how my body works and I have the correct education. But the more important thing is what it's done for my life. Yes, sustainability, nutritional education, mentally sharp, correct guidance, follows a proven plan, a leader, in less depression, better health, look good, feel good. Those are all great. But what has happened as a result of that is what has made my life completely different. Because one, once I had the correct education, I can teach other people now. Right? And for you, those of you listening to this right now, like you want to be able to teach this information to your children growing up. Because if you don't and you feel self-conscious in the way you feel and you look, they are going to grow up feeling exactly the way that you do. And today, with today's society, the food industry being as worse as it is and progressively getting worse, it is now more important than ever to understand nutrition at a very high level. Because if you don't, your wife, your kids will feel the same way. And I don't want that for you. But also, and along with the correct education, it also gave me one, mental clarity and confidence, which allowed me to build my business to where it's at today, allowed me to increase my actual performance and increase my actual bank account. Financially, you start to get more wealthy, right? That's why the best business owners in the world stay off the basis of health, wealth, and relationships, because health is the pivotal point and the key mechanism in wealth and relationships. Having the health to have the mental clarity to make the good decisions based upon your employees, to make the good decisions based on maybe your company is extremely important. It helps you progress in your career, helps you maybe get that promotion you're looking for. And then even relationship-wise, it helps you appreciate more, be able to have more energy for your family, but also understand time management to be able to allocate for balance between work, life, and family, be able to spend time with your family. And so like the things that happen as a result of that. And I want you to picture right now what would happen if you were able to wake up in the morning, wife's in bed, hey honey, get back in bed. You know, you're lean, six-pack shredded, and she said, hey honey, get back in bed. You're looking amazing, right? You're going to vacation on the next week. You're able to take your shirt off around the kids, be that dad that has the amazing lean look to his body, and be able to take your shirt off and be able to be confident in photos. And I completely understand where you're at, because that's exactly where I was at. This is exactly where I was at. And I know that a lot of people don't get the correct guidance within one, the personal trainers that a lot of people see. You know how I know that? It's because 85% of the people that go through our program have had a personal trainer in the past that have not given them the actual correct approach and that have not given the correct education on how to sustain it. Because truth be told, our retention rate is awful. I know you're like, oh my God, I was gonna go with him. I was gonna get in the program, but the truth is they don't need our program again. And that's our goal. Our goal is to have a poor retention rate, because after they're done working together, we can shake their hand with absolute clarity that they can go out, they can feel confident on vacations, they can feel confident taking their shirt off, look great in wedding pictures, but also make sure that they can stand it with the education we teach them and the education we teach them to give to their wife and their children. So if this sounds like you and you're somebody that has been struggling, sign up for time down below. There will be an application link down below for you to apply, because I want you to think about this. I want you to think about those visions that are currently going through your head about what I was just talking about. One, that's your higher level self speaking, right? The higher level form of you, the higher level version of you speaking. And, a lot of people, they'll listen to advice like this, they'll listen to information, and they will go about their life in the gray area and go through the same routine over and over and over again and never really making a sustainable change. But I encourage you, be an action taker. Be an action taker, because action takers are winners in life. They start first. And in your busy career and in your career, I want you to not only progress physically, but mentally, spiritually, and in all of your relationships. So there will be an application link down below for you to sign up for time to talk with me and my team, and we will figure out exactly where you're at, exactly where you want to get, and the gap that's created right there that's keeping you from getting there. And if it is a good fit for you to join our program and join the 125 guys I'm currently working with, then I'll write you out a strategic plan step by step on how you actually get there, and the strategies align with that as well. So if that sounds like you, now's your time. Sign up for a time down below, and I hope to be seeing you soon.